How's it going, everybody? Braddock here. Today, it's all about my natural disaster bag. Y'all check it out. Hey guys, welcome back. So before we jump into my natural disaster or mass evacuation bag, I wanted to start off by saying this idea of going off grid, living under a tarp with your family for X amount of time, it's not realistic. As fun as it is, practicing bushcraft skills, doing navigation, building shelters, fire, etc., let's be realistic. Community is survival. So make sure your kingdom is where it's at. Make sure your vehicle, so if you need to leave your home, is where it's at, and then start talking about bug out bags. But again, this is just a bag that I can throw in my vehicle in case down the road my vehicle were to die. At least I have a few contents in my bag to maintain survival. So a few pillars of survival that I like to go off of. I made a little cheat sheet here. First thing is security. So maintaining a proper firearm on your person at all time is crucial and super important. Then we have medical. So something like an IFAK, an individual first aid kit. Also a boo-boo kit, little minor cuts and scrapes, as well as over-the-counter medications when you're on the road, so you don't have to pull over to your local pharmacy. Communication is very important, knowing what's going on around you. Transportation, so either a vehicle, bike, and or shoes, so if you have to make it to the next town over for their transportation, usually they'll have like Greyhound bus evacuating everybody out of a town, so usually that's right in the center of town. And navigation, so GPS map, compass, protractors, etc. is crucial to getting to that next checkpoint. And then we have some sort of shelter. So a lot of areas aren't going to have room for people if there's a mass evacuation. History has shown, you know, when Katrina came through, everybody was at the dome, and we had people sleeping outside in tents just because there wasn't enough cots on the inside. So make sure to bring your own shelter, and that's something we'll go over here shortly. Hydration, so water bladders and a way to purify and filter out that water, Sawyer Mini and iodine water tablets. And then we move into calories, so MREs, dehydrated food, etc. And then tools, just to make life a little easier. Your cutting tools, any type of tie down equipment, of course your fire, and some sort of light. Alright, so a little bit about the bag. This is the Osprey Atmos 50 AG, which stands for anti-gravity. Basically, all of the weight sits on your hips. I did a roughly 100-mile through hike in 4 days and literally had about an inch gap between my shoulders and the shoulder straps. Had all the weight on my hips, and it was phenomenal. Alright, so on the outside of the bag, you'll notice I have a few water containers. These are smart water bottles, and the reason why I love using smart water bottles is just because the Sawyer Mini, which we'll get to here shortly. The bag also has a mesh pouch on the outside, which I will typically use and keep my rain fly in, but here I just have a orange rain jacket. So if you look at the front of the bag, you have your two straps here. I am running a 3-liter water bladder by Osprey. You have a sternum strap, and on the sternum strap you also have a small little whistle. Now the great thing again about this bag is the hip belt. So you have pockets right here to maintain any type of gels or cell phone, as well as the other side. So this hip harness has been phenomenal. Highly recommend it. We move to the top of the bag. The Verse zipper we have, I keep a small little rain cover for the bag, and then an orange whistle. And below that we have a larger section in which I keep a cell phone case, and on the inside I'll make sure to do a video of just this guy alone. A lot of contents for your cell phone, as well as markers, a way to make fire, a chem stick, and then a small little book with all of my contacts in them, friends, family, etc. Just in case my phone were to die, I'll have that on hand. And then back here we have some money as well, so a few ones, 5, 10, 20s, and then some extra change just to break that dollar. If we dig down deeper, we have IFAK. This is again an individual first aid kit. The contents in here include a tourniquet, Israeli bandage, combat gauze, an NPA, chest seals, and an ARS decompression needle for tension pneumothorax, as well as a triangular bandage which has a million different uses. Next, running into navigation, we have a compass, marker, ranger beads, and a topo map of my local area. So moving on to the main compartment of the bag, this lid is detachable, so if you just want to run your bag without a lid, you could do so. And it also has a little flap here to keep all your contents in your bag completely dry if it were to rain. So if we open this up, we've got a simple drawstring here. There's a buckle just to keep everything in place. What I like to do to waterproof everything in my bag, I'm a huge fan of 55-gallon drum trash bags, contractor bags. A lot of people go with black, but with a situation like this, if I'm not trying to be tactical, I love white. And the reason being, it reflects light a lot better. So come nightfall, when you are running a small little light, it just reflects everything. You could see what's in the bottom of your bag versus black. So big fan of using white contractor bags. Highly recommend it. So the first thing you'll see up on top, we have an assortment of dehydrated food. Crank radio. This also has your LED as well as a phone charger. 2-man shelter. This is by One Tigress. A lot of areas you're going to go to, if like FEMA provides shelters, again, they may run out, so you have to bring your own. It may be on concrete, so you might not have a way to stake out your shelter. So having a standalone shelter is crucial. Down here we have a air mattress. This is the Climate Static V. And then as you notice below us, we have another tarp. This is something I would use as a ground tarp or even an overhead fly, just for extra protection from either rain and or sun. Moving on to water, this is my water container. I am a huge fan of the Sawyer Mini, just simply because of how compact it is. 1 gallon water container. You can attach your Sawyer Mini to this and use it as a gravity fed system. 32-ounce water containers as well, with your tubing to attach to your Sawyer water filter. And moving on, we have a compact cook setup. This is a Stanley cup with a nesting cup, and on the inside, I won't dig in too much, but a small little propane, actually butane heater with butane on the inside. So I have another video I'll go ahead and put in the link down below, so y'all can check this out of how I stock my compact cook setup. And then here we have a few pouches just to kind of organize everything. Some lighters, other ways to make fire, quite a few chem lights. We have a multi-tool and a mirror for signaling. We have a small two-way radio as well as a phone charger with an assortment of adapters for both C adapter, your Android, iPhones, etc. We also have a wall adapter and a cigarette lighter adapter for your vehicle. And next is focused on minor toiletries and trash bags. So quite a few wipes in here. And if we dig down a little bit deeper, we have a few other toiletry items as well as 55-gallon drum contractor bags. And next bag here, we have a few other toiletry items. So a few over-the-counter medications, some tweezers, some Band-Aids for your feet. These are awesome versus moleskin. So if you do get hot spots, throw these guys on there and they'll stay on there forever. And then we have a few other things, some sunscreen, insect repellent, and tick spray, as well as some hand sanitizer. The last pouch is all of our tie down. So we have roughly 100 feet of orange fluorescent 550 and then some duct tape. And last but not least, we have a -20 sleeping bag. Now, the reason I go with a -20 is simply because it's a 4-season bag. If I'm in the summertime bugging out with this bag, You don't really need a -20, but you could use it again as just a sleep mattress, so it'd be super comfortable on your air mattress. So prepare for the worst. If you're looking at wintertime bugging out, a -20 is the way to go. So one thing I didn't talk about is clothing. Clothing is going to be crucial simply because, again, it is part of your shelter. We talked about the pillars of survival. Shelter is one of them, and clothing is in that realm. So clothing is going to be dependent on your season, what season you are in. Again, this is a 50-liter bag. I still have a ton of room to pack down some clothes in here. So if I am coming up on a winter, I'll throw in some underlayments in here. If comes summer, I might throw in some smaller t-shirts and some shorts, as well as flip-flops. If I am in an area where I could take a shower, I'm throwing on some flip-flops just to keep my feet away from that floor. Well, that about wraps it up for my natural disaster mass evacuation setup. Y'all make sure to subscribe and like down below. If y'all have any feedback of videos y'all want to see here in the near future, feel free to let me know. I'm Braddock. Y'all stay ready.